Okay, so this is my first video on the channel actually talking. Um, Kind of strange me doing this. Not used to it, not used to talking on camera, but we're gonna do it. Let's give it a try. So, if you've seen any of my previous videos on here, which probably have not, because they never get that many views, but that wasn't really the point of it. The point of me uploading the videos in the past was just to simply get into the groove or feel of uploading. Maybe not daily, but every few days, couple days, just to get into the habit of doing it. And to kind of like establish myself a little bit. If you've seen those videos, then you know that pretty much the one thing that I focus on is liminal space photography. This is a new kind of love that I've gotten over the past maybe year, 2 years, because of how they were introduced to me. Of course, the idea of liminal spaces comes from the infamous Backrooms creepypasta, which pretty much blew up a couple years ago, and I'm still a huge fan of it, and I'll probably make another video about that in particular at some point. But the reason why these liminal space photos, I appreciate them so much, is because of both the simplicity but also the it's a very difficult feeling to explain. They have a sense of safety and security, but also a feeling of loneliness. Like this right here is a good example of one. This is an image that probably to most normal people just seems like it's just a street with some houses in a random neighborhood. It's a cloudy sky, nothing really out of the ordinary. However, this picture has no people in it. There's no picture, or there's no people here. There's no life. There's nothing going on. It's just a still image of an empty street. And although most people have probably seen places that look like this in real life, it evokes a different kind of feeling when you realize that something about this just feels a bit wrong. This is a family neighborhood of a street of houses. It's supposed to feel warm and inviting, but because of the lack of people, the lack of any type of life, that gives this image a whole new layer of depth to it, in my opinion. It's kind of like when you're visiting a mall or a school, when either the mall is either about to close or just before it's opened, or if you're really early to school or you have to stay late after school. You know that feeling when you're in school but you're not actually in school, like you're there after hours? It just feels wrong. So here's a good example. This is just a school. It's an image of a school hallway. Normally, this wouldn't really be all that strange or weird or out of the ordinary. But because this is a place where you expect there to be lots of people, you expect it to be a busy location, now, because all of that is gone, it's strangely empty and creepy. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like this, that there's just a strange feeling being inside of a school that is closed or not in session, because it's a place that you're supposed to feel safe and comfortable in, but once all those people are gone, you feel almost unwanted, unwelcome. And it's like this really strong, you have this strong need to want to just get out as quickly as possible. Another example that probably most people can relate to is malls. Malls are traditionally very busy, lots of people, lots of noise, talking, a lot of stuff going on in the background. And it's normal for a mall to be very heavily populated. But when you go to a mall and there's no one there, so it's nearly closing time or right after opening in the morning, again, it's just a very strange feeling that you have where subconsciously in your mind you feel as if I really don't belong here. Like, this place is not welcoming me anymore. I should not be in this place at this time. And that is kind of what the definition of where liminal spaces come from. So here it says, the aesthetic known as a liminal space is a location which is a transition between two other locations or state of being. Typically, these are abandoned and oftentimes empty, a mall at 4 a.m. or a school hallway during summer, for example. Funny enough, those are the two examples that I just gave. This makes it feel frozen and slightly unsettling, but also familiar to our minds. And so that familiarity of being in a place that you recognize that's the feeling that me and a lot of other people have when it comes to these spaces, because it takes us back to a time where we feel content or normal. But at the same time, it's a very strange, bittersweet feeling, because you're like okay, but not okay at the same time. And this has been a long rant of just why I like these photos so much. Probably not the best conveyed at it, since it's my first time actually speaking like this, but this is what has basically inspired me to make this channel, and I am interested in going forward just to keep making these kind of videos, talking about the things that interest me. It's not always going to be this. I'm not always going to upload videos like this or about this topic, but I'll just make videos on things that interest me or what I feel like talking about on whatever day. And I just kind of want to see where this is going to go, because this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but just never really done it until now. So if you're still here after so long, thanks for sticking with me, and I will be back once again when I decide to make something else.